Okay, so basically, I guess we're just gonna go through like a little overview on how to actually use the interface within here. First over here, you have like some tool selections, but also you have this up here. So this right up here, you're gonna really look into because this is your layout, your modeling. This is where you're mainly gonna be working with. Um, I know it's kind of small to see it on a shared screen. So if you look at the top of your Blender, it should say layout, modeling, compositing, default, or any of the sort. There's more panels that you can do when you get more into it, like sculpting, visual effects, video editing with 2D animation, or like all that stuff. But like over here, you'll mainly need what's in general, which is layout, modeling, and possibly rendering, but that would be on a later date. Um, so this right here, you click up right up here, the select circle. So basically you go and you start dragging around just to select everything you can. How everything highlights orange is how to select, basically. This one right here, it clears your selection so you don't select anything. Here is your move tool. So you're gonna have to select an actual object or two. Like here, I'll just choose one of these boards right here. These three arrows actually tell you where it's going to be moving to. Um, and the main thing that you got to make sure is that you know how to move your camera. So you want to get your mouse pad, your mouse pad. I'm thinking mouse pad, mouse, and the center button, which is the roller. You want to click on it, and then you drag around to have it move. If you want to zoom in, you would scroll towards it and zoom out like that. If you want to keep it centered, you press Control and then you zoom in like this to really go in there, or zoom out. It's kind of hard, I'll be honest, because unlike Maya, it doesn't let you like press like the space button or the alt button to actually like physically move it. You have to like move here and then zoom in. And then sometimes you won't see like a specific area, so you'd have to readjust. That's the only thing I still haven't figured out with Blender. I'm like, why aren't you doing what I need you to do? But it does it. So this one moves across, I believe, the x-axis. Is it the x-axis? Yes. X is red. This is Y, and this is Z. Those are your three ways of playing because we are working in a 3D plane. Just be wary because like sometimes see how I moved it and now my actual floorboard is not even on the floor, it's beneath it. You always have to make sure your Z plane lines up and make sure, because like if you move it from here, you're not going to be able to see that it's still within the floorboard. Then we just move it back up. Boot it. And there we go. There we go. My floorboard is kind of back and it's actually in the wall now, so I have to move it forward. There we go. So that's how you would move an object. Here you go. This thing right here will rotate your object. Red will always be X, blue will be green. Oh my god, blue. Green will be Y, and blue will be Z. And depending on how you want to rotate it, you want to kind of go with the actual lines, like you want to highlight the line and then move it. Because if not, if you start rotating it from like um a center point, it's going to rotate at an awkward angle and you're never going to kind of be able to get it back to its original point because it's super sensitive. And if you do accidentally do that, Control Z is your best friend. Now, if you click here, it's a scale function. So basically, it can make it bigger or smaller. If you choose the center point, though, it'll do. I think, hold on. I didn't click the center when I realized that. If you click the center, it'll do all three at the same time. But just the same way with X, Y, and Z. X, Y, and Z. X makes it longer on the X plane. Y makes it thicker. This one makes it, how do I say this? It gives it more depth. So you won't be able to see it until you actually like move it up, but see how it's like way thicker than the rest of them? That's how you would see it. Then we're just gonna put it back. This is your transform tool. So basically it has all three functions at the same time. I mean, I go with individual ones for more accuracy, but if you want to just do something quick, this would be your best bet to do something real quick. And this is in layout mode. Layout mode is the only time where you can actually move objects within the scene. So like, let's just say I wanted to move this chair per se. All right. Let me make sure I get all 4 of these. Okay, so you want to shift and select to make sure that you're selecting all that you need to. Okay. You know what? Let's do floorboards instead. Let's do floorboards. Okay. You go to my select tool, select what I need. If I can just give me my selection. There we go. Because I was too close. You didn't let me. And then you press your move tool. From here, you'll be able to move all your structures away or back. Away or back. So let's just say I move it here. Okay? I go to modeling. I actually can't physically move this unless I can. Can I move it back? Actually, I can't. You see? I can't move it back without completely destroying the actual wireframe. So definitely suggest going back into layout mode if you want to move big objects, like your objects that you finish modeling. So let's go to modeling real quick. So here you can see that we have like different little pieces. Actually, I can just share this with you and you can have this file. Here you go. I'm sending it in the chat. Wait, can I send it in the chat? It doesn't let me send it in the chat. It doesn't let me send it in the chat. I tested it before and it's let me send it, but I guess it doesn't let me send it now. I'll send it in the general chat in UP Discord, so you guys can have it, because it'll be fun once you guys like have it, and so you guys can play around with this scene. UPE. I'm just gonna put in the off topic. Let's go to off topic. All right. It's in the off topic chat if you want to download it. Okay, so now we're in modeling. Modeling has 3 actual modes. So you have, if you press 1, you go into node mode. And so basically node mode, sounds hilarious, right? Node mode goes specifically with the nodes. You see these little dots here? Those are the things that get highlighted. That's the thing that you're going to be moving in mode number 1. Mode number 2 is your edge mode. So the thing you're going to be moving is not the node, but the actual whole edge. So like, let's just say I want to get this edge right here. I can actually move that edge, but it's just going to be that specific edge. Well, those 2 edges, because I selected both. But you catch my drift. The last one is my favorite mode. It's the face mode. So you press 3, which it'd be actually these little boxes up here if you wanted to click on them, but they have more. Which I can select the face and then I move the faces up, see, or down, however much I need to, up or down. Oh, now my mouse is floating. That's okay. You know what? There we go. That works. All right. So those are the 3 ways that you can actually like transform something in the scene. These tools right here on the side are super duper important. So what I use to do this chair right here, this chair, the chair. is extrude region and bevel. There are many different uses that we can do, so let's create a new scene so you can see what's going on. Let's create a new general scene. Yeah, let's save. Okay, so this is my new scene. We're going to go into modeling. We always make sure that we're in modeling. And then we're going to want to make sure that we're in mode 3 with faces. First off, with faces, we create a loop cut. Loop cuts allow us to create like perfect cuts across the way, like dividing it into two or and halves, stuff like that, to like create the perfect shape that you need so you can extrude or like move around whatever you want. See, I forgot to do these, so we almost didn't have any. So now we have a perfect little cube, right? Let's move this up so we can actually transform this now. Now we want to create that chair that we saw in the first scene, right? So first things first, it was kind of narrow towards the butt, right? So we're going to want to transform this and scale it down. Oops. But you see? I only selected one. Oops. I just selected the whole thing. Shift and add. Shift and add. And we come in here. And now we can do this. I forgot more. Interesting. Shift and add. Shift and add. Okay, there we go. Now it's going to work. So we're going to push this all the way down so it's narrow enough. And you know what? It was kind of narrow as well, but the thing is that it was a little more narrow towards like the tip, right? So we'll only gather half of these. Make sure you gather all the faces on each side. Oh man, I exited out. Yeah, it's just getting used to the interface, guys. It's on edges. We want to face. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then you can just get your little extrude tool and we'll move it in just ever so slightly. But it looks kind of weird still, right? So at that point, we'll move to 1. And 1 will allow us to move it a little more, but still, it doesn't feel right because we just need these tips now. Let's just grab these tips real quick. Oh my god. And then, there we go. We start narrowing it down. It's getting there. Now we have the top, right? We actually can just use it with using the extract tool here, extrude tool. So let's select the faces first. So this face, this face, this face, these faces, this face, this face, this face, and this face. These are the faces that we need, right? And you want the extrude region. At that point, when you add plus, it's going to add to this area right up here. With this, we're going to be able it looks like a toilet seat actually now that I'm looking at it. I figured it out, by the way. You press shift to move it and adjust it as you wish. So we move it up here. This will give us some leeway to actually work with so we can add a nice back to the chair. So the next step would be actually getting the nodes. And then from there, instead of doing the extrude tool, you got to make sure that we have it at the move tool, scale tool. We inch this closer. Oh, I forgot a node. Oh no. Josie. Shift add. There we go. Almost all of them are selected. Oofs. There we go. And now we can safely move it together. Still looks kind of weird, a little wonky. We're gonna add this. We're gonna add these. Yep, they're all selected, and we're gonna inch them in like this. Now we have some semblance of a chair, but now it's kind of thick still, right? So at this point, we grab this area right here. We want to grab faces. So you go straight down and across. And now the same thing that we did before, we resize it to its narrow field. And you know what? We'll add it a little more length, but then we gotta move it up a little bit because it was looking a little wonky right there. Move it up a little more. Let's scale it back down. So it's gonna be a work in progress, guys, because Anna just doesn't know how to make chairs anymore. There we go. That looks like a better chair. All right. Now it's still kind of rigid. So what we do with the bevel tool gets any hard edges and you can add any amount of individual lines that makes it rounded. So if you click the bevel tool, you can actually divide it by segments. So I usually like to go either like 5 or 6 segments depending on how intense your look is. We're gonna do segments 5 on edges. We want edges. Yeah. But you might not see it. I don't know why it's not working. Oh, because we didn't select everything, guys. All right. I think it's all selected now, except that one random one up there. All right, now with this, you beveled the tool, and segments should be popping up any minute now. Maybe I have too many lines. How do I open the file you sent? You open Blender and you just drag it into Blender. That's how you open up the file. Yeah. It should allow you to do that. Bevel edges. Yeah, I wanted to bevel the edges. I guess I can only do it with an undone. Let me double check something. Let's bevel, segments, offset, depth. Why you not do it? I think it's because I have too many. All right, let's create a block. To add another block, you just press add up here, and you just add a cube somewhere. And then let me see if it'll bevel this one. Select tool. And then should I have been in that mode? Shift. And then let's bevel. Oh wait. Huh, forgot about that. Forgot I had to do that. Ah, that's how I was supposed to do it. Okay, Control Z. Okay, here we go. Oh no. Oops. Bevel the whole thing. I'm gonna shift add here. I'm gonna shift here. Boom. Okay, now you grab this and you just bevel it ever so slightly if I can. Oops. we want we shouldn't do 90 segments. Let's do 5 again. 5. Here we go. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom. All right. And with this, our chair looks nice and rounded now. It's not a beautiful chair, but it's a chair nonetheless. At least one with a backrest. Now let's make some cylindrical like stools. So what you're gonna want to get actually is you could do a sphere or a cylinder, but I would use a cone and flip it upside down, honestly, because you're not gonna see the bottom of it really. So what you want to do is you get this and you rotate it. Rotate, get 90 degrees. 90 degrees. Boom. The line will tell you where it is. So that's about 90 degrees. It's perfect actually. So you would obviously resize it to whatever size you want. And I want it kind of narrow. I definitely want it small. Small and narrow. Get all 3. And then let's move it up. So I can figure out where it might be. Let's move it right here. It's here. It's still a little bit too thick for me. So I'm going to keep messing around with it until I want it. I think it's pretty good so far, but still get that narrow feeling. Oh, oops. Let's move it. I want the object, please. I'm just gonna move this. Modeling. Let's move this over here. Control Z. Because I forget that every time I have to do this, I have to make sure that I select all of my faces. There we go. There we go, guys. Alright, so we have like 1 maybe. I still think it's kind of weird, so we're just gonna scale this over a little. Perfect. It's a really pointed chair, but I like it because I'm not gonna deal with it. Alright, to make more of these, you would press the Control D button. So Control D, Control D, Control V. Oh my god, did I forget the shortcut? I forgot the shortcut. Okay, if anything, just where did it go? File. Let's save this real quick. Always save your files, by the way. Save Blender. Yeah, honestly. uh, by the way, any questions so far? No? Any questions? No? Um, I feel kind of weird right now. I don't know if this is following well so far. Okay, okay. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. I just wanna make sure I know the that everything's going with you guys and that you guys are kind of like keeping pace. Um, hold on, I need some water. As you can tell, I'm kind of nervous. Yeah, I'm doing great. Thank guys. Thank you guys. Okay. Um, let's do this. Because I want to give you guys the shortcut, but I can't remember. Oh, it's Shift D. This is what I get for using Maya more than Blender. It's Shift D. And then you get 2. Oh my gosh. Oh no. Okay. Oh no. I only copied half of it. Control Z. Okay, Shift. All of it. Make sure all of it is selected, guys. You'd never want to duplicate. By the way, it's Shift D. So Shift D, you move it over. And then you click, which then it should work. See, it's not touching, so I gotta lift this up. It's inside now. Beautiful. And then we're gonna select the other one as well. We're just gonna select it again. And now this time, watch this guys, we're gonna do something fancy. When we do the Shift D, oh my gosh, what? We have our front legs now. Oh wait, I lost one. I lost a face. Well, you know what? That's just gonna that's how it's gonna be. I lost a face there. Shift, and we select. And you know what? I always think the front legs are slightly smaller than the back legs, but they're usually not. It's just my own personal preference for thinking I could do that. It's about right here. You know what? I'm just gonna make it look real weird. Yep. The chair's gonna be a little broken. It's a broken chair, guys. Press Shift, and then we come over to the other side. And press Shift, select, we move this over. And my vampire chair is done, guys. But see how we modeled this here? If we go into layout, it's going to move as one whole object. At that point, we can't actually edit what the chair looks like, but we can move its position within the scene. And at that point, like, you know, let's just say we had a desk and we had like a TV and stuff like that, we can arrange it so it could look like a living room or something. Excuse me. But yeah, that's a little bit about how that goes. I'm gonna give you guys another file because I feel like this would be a lot of fun too. So I showed you how to create like a piece of furniture. This can be applied to anything else, like a TV. If you wanted to do a TV, that's even simpler than this. So we would obviously add a box or cube. Then let's make it a nice flat screen TV because everybody likes flat screens, right? So flat screens are kind of narrow, but you got to still give it a little bit of space for its oh man. Look at that. Look at this nice flat screen TV that we got right here, guys. So we're gonna move it up, and but flat screen TVs aren't just like, flat like this, right? There's like a little kind of like, what was a picture frame? It's like a picture frame. It's like a frame on your TV before the actual TV, because it has to hold up all the LED lights. So what we're gonna want to do is we want to select a face. Select, and we select one face. It's only one face. You only want to do one face. You're gonna extrude the region. Actually, no, you don't want to extrude the region. Oops. You want to resize the region. So from here, you grab it from like the center. You see how it can like come in like this? It gives it like a nice little frame. So you just let it come out like that a little bit. And then at that point, you want to move it, and then you move this in a little bit more so it can be as flat as it can be while it's still there. It's looking nice right now, our TV. Let's move it in a little bit more. Now we need to extrude it, and we just push it in instead. And at that point, it gives it the little bevel that we have to see, and now it looks like a TV. With this, then at that point, you've also known how to create a picture frame, so you can actually add an asset, which that would be like a whole other like workshop, is how to add UV coloring and mapping to this to actually get color on your meshes. That's way too much for just one session, because it's way more complicated than you'd expect. But this would be a great way for you to just kind of make something like that, some TVs like that. Another thing that's really cool about this is that there is a poly build, so you can actually import a photo or something and you actually build the actual shape. So let's pretend that my shape is it's a heart. I want to draw a heart, right? So I just go, wait, where can I draw it? Oh, do I have to? Okay, I see. Okay. It's a little different actually. So you have to get like a plane. Let's grab a plane right here. Let's move this whole plane right here. Move selected tools. Let's move it out of this way. And you know what? Let's rotate it, right? So we can see what's going on. That is good enough for me. And we're gonna lift this up. All right, so now we got a plane. It's kind of big. Let's make it a little bit bigger so we have something to work with, you know? Kind of big, yeah. All right, now we have a plane. Let's grab this. This allows you to shape the tool however you need to it. So if we had like a 3D object that you wanted to make a diamond, you would grab this side, pull it across, make it however you need, or we can even make like a paper airplane if need be. I mean, you can add loops and add edges so you can transform even more. So let's add some edges here, another edge here, and another edge here, right? And then you just click the form tool, and now we can actually grab specific areas. So like I can grab this one, and this one needs to be pointed up this way instead, or like, and then the abstract art really is coming into play here. So we just pull this back and it's overlapping this way now, or something, you know, get the body of the crane going. We got to grab this one because the crane's body goes here, but we're missing a edge here. Let's add another little edge right here or something. And then we just continue forth and we'll create something cool, maybe, you know, like this weird polymorph duck. That still blows my mind. So that's how it goes. That's how it goes, guys. That's the polybuild tool right here. The shortcut is shift space. Honestly, once you get the shortcuts down and don't get confused with other modeling software, I think it's a very, very good actually I don't want to do it for that one. I want to do it with this one. You can smooth it out, but I don't know how well you can tell that I can smooth it out. There we go. See? It does like other little effects that like lets the mesh go on better. See, like if I wanted to put a mesh on the TV versus and the chair, I'm gonna have an easier time putting on a like color onto the TV than I am to the chair. The chair has way too many like nodes and angles that it makes it really difficult to actually color. Besides that, that's the basics that you need to create like objects and stuff. And basically you can go to the extent of making cars, making a whole room like this. Um, Let me see, can I open this? File, open, save. Wow, it just turned really, really small. Okay, and then we're gonna do file, open recent. This, so this took me like, this takes a while, believe it or not. Like it really does. Each one of these objects took like a long time to make. And like the thing is like the books aren't that much because once you got one, you kind of got the rest of them. But then just like making each bevel perfect, making the chair as smooth as it could be, making oops, the the computer look like a computer, or like the mouse a mouse, or like a little block of a thing. Like the shades were easy. Once you get the shades down, you're good with that. This is easy enough because they're all the same. But things that aren't the same and that are singular, that's the hardest part you're gonna have to get. So when you're building a scene, you want to kind of like be as efficient as possible by choosing simple shapes and how to manipulate those simple shapes. Like these took for these are crazy. These are like rolled up pieces of paper. That right there. But yeah. Now I'm gonna send you guys another one in the same thing. It's mesh character. We're gonna do something with a character, like an actual character. So I'm gonna show you how to do that. Upload. So if you go to the off topic again, it's mesh character. It's a Blender file. We're gonna open that up. Okay, that's fine. File. Open recent. Don't save. Wait. What? Do I have to do this? Open. There we go. Okay. Let's move this up on top of our axis because we want it to be on top of it. We don't want to be inside it because then it's kind of weird. Let me know when you guys have opened it. Have we opened it or no? Cool, we got one open, and then Zach just let us know. Mm. Oh, you've been following along without Blender. Okay, so you can't. It's okay. Just save those to your files because they should come in handy whenever. Okay, so what we have here is a low poly model, right? That we can actually shape ourselves. So I found this online. I didn't do it. Okay, guys. I'm gonna be real with you guys. I did not do this one. So yeah. So here's gonna be really interesting. What you want to do half the time is mirror your objects. So this right here, when we move this, or like when we resize it, we want to make it like, closer together, but we want to move it inside because this is where the cheek would be or something. It's gonna automatically do it on the other side as well. You see how the other side actually like concaved here as well as here? See, that's where like the eyes are and stuff like that. We got now some semblance of what could possibly be. But if we grab this one right here, which would be the nose, we push it in, it still looks weird, right? That actually has to be the nose. So we have to move the forehead a little back so we can start giving a definition to a nose. Or you have to add actual loops so you can create the definition of the nose. So I'm gonna look at this, and the face is actually the hardest thing to start off with. So you know what, instead of doing the face, I'm gonna show you guys the easy parts of making a foot or making a hand and stuff like that. Well, these are already done, but like the feet and the hands are like quite possibly one of the easiest things to do. And I'm talking about feet mainly, because in the feet you got to look at the joints that we have as people and then actually attribute it to here. So here, these would be their toes. This would be the ball of the foot. This is your actual foot, and then here's your heel and your ankle. So with each of these, like at that point when you rig the character, it's gonna actually do the whole motion of you walking and have the actual like heel to ball to toe and vice versa. That's how it would work. So let's grab a couple of these. She's got some pretty thick toes, guys. Pretty thick toes. Let's just maybe lessen the burden of her toes. And come around. You okay? Oh my god. My dogs like just cried out while they were sleeping. And you just grab them all. Make sure you grab all the nodes. You can either grab all the nodes or like you can grab edges. I'm doing nodes right now because I'm basic. I'm basic with the nodes. I didn't want to change it, And then let's scale them. If I can find the scale. Can I not scale them? Oops. Oh, I guess I could. Control Z. Da-na, da-na-na, da-na-na. So you can make them big feet, smaller feet, tiny feet. But I forgot to get the balls of the foot too, so that ain't gonna work, bruv. Oh no. Control Z. Shift. Okay. So I wanted to give her more of a high heel look. So if you want to do that, you would grab like a specific area, like right here, and actually raise the ankle to be slightly higher than what you'd think. So now, like, if you wanted to do the mesh of the actual shoe would go up to here like this. Oops. I should have taken these up. Whoa. But yeah, so now she's like kind of like on heels. See the boot? Kind of looks like a boot right now. Yep. Let's give her some thick calves, you know? Wow. Don't forget to not click on what you need. And you always have to reselect your select tool, because if not, you might select something that you're not expecting. We're gonna shift select. You know what? We're gonna make her thick. Thick ass thighs. Thick legs save lives, bro. Oh look. We just dragged the knees. She's not gonna be bow-legged anymore. What happened to her legs, guys? I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. Okay, I apologize for that. That just went a little haywire, guys. um let's select the tool again. So basically, like you start from the bottom up, I think would be the best way for character modeling. This is, I think, the one of the best that I found online for like free. Some nice character modeling. Ooh, let's get on these thighs, guys. Right, thick thighs save lives, right? Yeah, that's what I got. Thick thighs. So you know what? She's gonna have thick thighs. Make sure we get all that, and then we go to the scale. Oops. Whoa, way too thick. Yo, but she don't. I don't like thigh gaps. I'll be honest. I think thigh gaps are really weird. But that's my personal preference. If you want your character to have a thigh gap, she can. He can. You know, we don't judge. Guys have thigh gaps, I think. Oh my god, I can't believe UP is recording this. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, David. It's late at night. I should have a show. I should have a talk show, guys. It'd be a bad talk show, just gonna let you guys know that, but I should have a talk show. And then we, whoosh, look at those. Look at that. Gluteus maximus. Yeah. Yeah, that's less of a cringe right there. But you know what? Yeah, we're gonna leave the booty as is, because you know what? The booty be popping right there. Right there, guys. Booty be popping. Pop-a-lockin'. But you know what? We're gonna add some boobies. Do we want boobies? Or should she be flat? Lolly? Neither. We should grab these. But we will move these actually in to give her more of a cinched waist. Don't forget to grab the back ones as well, because it will give it more of a defined function. That Kim Kardashian look right there. Booyah. Let's go here. We do want to create some semblance of Tatita, you know? So maybe push this in. Nope. Push it out. We could push it out, technically. But I don't like how it's coming out. So I'm going to actually add another loop. Do I like it there? It's about right there. And yeah. Actually, Control Z. Let me think. Where would the booby fall? The booby would fall right if it's pointing out, so it should be right up here. Alright. Oof. And then we grab the tool, grab Bethany. We want these three only. And then at that point we move them out. I don't like how that came out. Yeah, it's too, well, I could bevel it, so it should be fine. Uh, hmm. Let's add this as well. I think that was my problem. It looks kind of weird without like a little extra oomph. Okay, we got some semblance of tetitas. All right, let's give some definition to these arms here, because not all the arms. You poor girl. It's all right, lol. You pee after night. Oh man. And you have me here like modeling very pointy tetitas, you know? Okay, we're looking for the elbow, so this is the elbow midway, like down the way of the arm. Uh, Again, you want to make sure that you select all the nodes in the area before you do this, because if not, it's going to come out scuffed. And then you come here, and then you just bring it in a little bit. And then it's actually looking out nicer. Look at that. You know what? Let's make our characters that they have like big hands but small feet. Like I think that's kind of cool. It's kind of like it's kind of like Sonic just but with hands, just the hands. You know the characters. um, but yeah, it's oh, man. I was gonna show you how to do this from scratch, mind you, before I even like thought of like possibly looking up a character model to like help you guys with, and then I was like, mm, character model, so it's already done for me. I can't not do it, you know? Like that's some good ass assets right there for me. Okay, so usually if you look at your wrists are smaller than your hands. So you have to make that conscious decision if you want to make it like as human like possible, or um what's it called? Or as big, like, you know, your hands as big as possible, like depending, like, yeah, this would take 2+ sessions. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Honestly, 3D modeling is a lot of fun when you get good at it or like proficient in it. Because it's hard when you're just starting out because you're like, nothing comes out the way that I want to. Nothing is like, you know, showing up when I need to. And you get like really discouraged sometimes. And you're like, where the hell did my node go? Or like, you know, why did this happen to this guy right here? Like, how did it get to this point? Like, so, oh no, 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 no. Ah, Josie. There we go. And then, yeah, I'm gonna make it smaller. I'm gonna make it as human-like as possible. There we go. And that's like thin enough, but it still looks good enough. The hands, though. You know, already enough of that with programming. Yeah. Um, so what I don't like about this is that they literally just copy and pasted the hands. And the hands, I gotta be honest, are the worst for me. I can model a hand in clay so much better than I can draw or model on the computer. Like physically doing it on with my hands is so much easier than doing it here. These are the hardest things to actually make and rig. Rigging these is a freaking mission because you got all your little joints within each like knuckle. And if you wanted to make it look as real as possible and you're not making like an alien, like it takes a bit of time. Same thing with like your spine and like your shoulders, and depending on your face rig, it that's depends on how like good your facial features for your character model will look. Like if you look at the polymorphs of the like Planet of the Apes, that is the best movie I can tell you, has the best CGI with character modeling animation, because they have such intense polys, like um details, that each and every little like lip flicker, lip like movement or like blink that they had on like the actual person was portrayed accurately on a character model, which was insane. Honestly, it's so cool though. So 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 cool. Let's even these out though. Let's even this out. Mhm. 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 There we go. And then let's just get the sizing tool. Let's make it a little bit because she has dainty hands. But do you see that? I missed nodes. No! Because those are the nodes in between the fingers. Schneise. So I'll only do it ever so slightly. There we go. I mean, the hand's not as big anymore, so I think it works kind of well with the body that we're making. So it works so far. I mean, she's looking good. She looks like one of those Charlie's Angels, but with a giant butt, bro. What is that? The butt, though. I didn't even want to change it, but it's huge. I'm gonna have to change it. uh, is there a way to select everything in general, an area that's not even seen? There is, but the thing is, if you want this specific region, like there's no select all tool. Like the select all tool will get the whole model on every single node on the model. Yeah, I know. I'm like, yo, Blender, you gotta do something about this. uh, yeah. But like at that point, I try to like if I'm gonna model it from scratch, I try to avoid any possibility of that happening. Because I will not make things with like, models like that. Let's just push you in a little bit. You know what? It's a thick ass like queen bee butt, bro. Uh, okay, let's do that, and let's move it in. Let's move it in. Okay, guys. You know what? She seems more normal this way, but now she looks like she's got a little tail going because I forgot about these. До свидания. Let's move you in. Move selected tool. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, there we go. Which looks fine. Yep. And you know what? Now she has like a normal person's butt, bro. Not a Kim Kardashian butt, but a normal person's butt. Okay. Now. Making the face. Okay. Like, it takes me a long time to actually create a face because getting the eyes is what's going to be most difficult. I mean, also getting the mouth because you're going to have to like create teeth, a tongue. You're going to have to create the back of the mouth. The tongue needs to go, at least go down like the esophagus a little bit so like, it won't be seen anywhere else. Also when you're rigging the face, you actually have to rig the tongue so it could and the mouth and everything so it can all work in conjunction. Um, because when you are talking, believe it or not, the tongue is there and you can see it. And it's mainly prevalent when your 3D models are talking. So, yeah. That's like an issue. Also, eyebrows are really, really big. Like I didn't realize how big eyebrows were until like I got into like character models and creation. Eyebrows say everything. That's when I saw like the Lion King CGI. I was like, this looks so weird because they don't have eyebrows. Like these lions have no expression because they don't have eyebrows. But yeah. I mean, like, if you really think about it, like, if you looked at someone, like, the eyebrows give you so much of what they're thinking. Like, they could be furrowed, or like, this like furrowed eyebrows can give you one of three different like emotions. Furrowed eyebrows means frustrated, angry, or confused. I mean, it's so interesting to see that play out. Now for like the face here, I would actually suggest maybe just one at a time, like popping it in, because this would be like the eye sockets. Like this is where you would create an extra eye and you would put the eye inside it. And then you would bring it back out so it kind of like hovers right on where you need it. Because then the blinking effect and then the mesh to hold the actual eyeball and like where to move would be another rig that you would need to create. Let's just say this right here is the ear. Like this is the ear right here. You definitely need oh, I need Jesus after this. That almost looks so bad. Like that, and then we'll bring it back here like this. We would need more polygons. Like these polygons are way too low poly to actually create. We would have to create loops upon loops so we can actually form like the perfect circle that we need. Here we don't have enough loops to actually create a perfect eye socket either. Um, we definitely would have to create like one or two more uh here. Like I'll create like two more loops. I got loop cut like right up here. Then I need another loop cut like right here. But then this one, I need to select tool, select tool, select tool. This one right here will come out. And then I need to grab this one to like kind of like match it out. But then I need to create another loop tool to bring it back in. So let's bring another loop tool in, like right there. And that's good enough. And then we'll grab this one right here and we'll actually have to move it back in to create the profile of a nose. And that's not even like a good nose, guys. That's not a good nose. But that's the nose that we're gonna work with. That seems like a headache, but it's super interesting to do. It is. Honestly, the reason, okay, so there's this program called ZBrush. It's about like, I gotta be honest, $1,000, but I got it like, free, because, I know how to do things. And it is by far one of the best products I've ever used because basically you grab a pen, like, can you see us? You grab a pen. This is my pen for my tablet, and you can draw and add and whatever you need and like really like smooth out these polygons beautifully on that. But what's it called? It's much harder doing it like mouse and key. It is super helpful. It's literally like meshing clay with like your pen. It's great. Like that's what ZBrush is, and I love ZBrush. Um Well, let's continue on with this a little bit. Let's grab these two because these two are kind of like the lips area, but like, they need to be a little more back because we're making this like an anime-like look. Um, we'll grab this one right here, this one, and we want to move you up actually. So it's not so much now that it's like right there in their face, but it's up by the eyebrow area. And then, let's push it back out a little bit. So now if you see it kind of like the silhouette, here's where the eye would go, and then this is your nose. And then we gotta just make another little thing, two things here. Actually, it's one, two, three. It'd be three things to make a mouth. That's one, two, one, two, three. 4, 5. It'd be 5. It'd be 5. 5 loops. Okay, and I'll tell you why it's 5. Actually, 1, 2, that's the top lip. 3, 4, 5. Okay, let me show you why. Okay, because oops, Control C. What you want to do with the center one is this one right in here. You need to push that one in, because that's kind of like where like the entrance is. Oh my god, that is terrifying. Do you see the Slender Man smile? Oh my god, we've created Slender Man. Okay, I didn't think I would like create Slender Man like this, but I think I know how they did. Okay, let's create this one. I just need to grab this one right up here. Okay, this one you want to push out a little bit to create the upper lip. This one, and you bring it down a little bit. Whoops, I guess I brought it down a lot. They want to bring that down like that. And then we grab this one, push it out again. This time, push it up a little more. And then here, we need to actually push this slightly back and slightly down, because that's where like kind of like the lip is. This same thing here, but like slightly back, slightly up, to give some definition to the mouth. So it would kind of look like this. Obviously, I don't want to use a smile. So like this one right here, these right here, I don't want to push these in. So I should extrude them so they don't do that, but it doesn't look like it's gonna happen. I'll be honest. You just kind of gotta play around with it to make it seem. See, like now we got a real big, like, you know, bottom lip, yo. You just gotta make sure that you have like the right one to like push out. There we go. A little bit better. It's not the best, but yeah, it's getting there. But yeah, that's how you would create like areas for it. So it looks like Jack Skeleton. Thanks. I mean, Jackie Skeleton, right? It's Jackie Skeleton, guys. But yeah, and don't even get me started on hair. Hair is gonna be the biggest issue for any 3D modeler, because the time it took 2.5 years to create Merida's hair for Brave, the movie, like Disney animators, because each scene, like each twirl, each little like frizz hair that girl had was done individually and animated individually, like each piece of hair. That's why it takes so long for Disney to come out with these things. I know, it's crazy. I was watching this documentary on Disney. That's why I was like, how do they do it? It's so beautifully done. That's why. It's because it took 2.5 years for them to do it. And believe it or not, the person who actually modeled Elsa was a man. And then the thing is, like, I could see that, like, when Elsa like does her little like jump to start running up the mountain in her Let It Go scene, that is, it's, she does this thing with her shoulders that females don't do, because if we do that with our shoulders, things move. And so that only happens if you're a dude. Like, he got so excited that he did this, and no, girls don't do that, but like it's really cool. But yeah, that was all the 3D modeling I had for you guys. You guys have any questions? Zachary, Henry? I feel like I'm talking to myself sometimes, you know? Seems like anatomy lessons are super duper important. It's very true. Very, very, very true. Like I have like a couple anatomy books, and I actually have I have like and like then you have to think about animation and like the follow through and the 12 principles of animation when you're actually animating a character, which is a whole other like story. Like it's crazy how big this world is. Like really. Like there are people that specialize specifically in rigging, which is so cool. So it's like you get a character and they specifically like pinpoint the areas that they need like for the character model animator to use, make it as easy as possible for them to actually like, perform what the motions that they needed for character animation, which is really cool. And then the animators are the ones who go in and like frame by frame, they like keyframe it, animate it, all that stuff. And then you have your lighting specialists that actually go in there and do their lighting in each and every scene to make sure that the character model looks good in each and every angle. Then you have your so I kid you not, like Disney and like any animation studio, I'm so like wow. I'm so amazed at everything that they do because they're just so good. um but yeah, uh there it does. Honestly, what I do is just for me, but I sit through every single credit and I try to read off as many names as I can just to give some special recognition to the people who worked into this, because they have so many people that work into a 2 hour length movie that they never get recognized because they're just part of like the crew, you know? And it's just like it's kind of sad because of that, but you know, that's what I do. Like I sit through that with games and everything. Like, the only people really remember is the director and like not the little people who worked on it, like, like all the like I feel really bad for animators too. Like what's it called? Sausage Party, was it? The the talking hot dog movie, that one by Seth Rogen. The animators were underpaid, and on top of that, half of them didn't even get paid for the work they had done for the movie. And like they had to go on strike and everything, and still they didn't get paid. hmm I was like, I was so livid. I'm like, I'm not even there. I wasn't a part of that, but I'm still mad for you, sort of thing. Oh man. But now you have these cool what's it called, scenes you guys can work with. Um Hopefully like this taught you guys a lot. I think this was pretty efficient. I don't know. Well, what are your thoughts? Almost about how Rockstar overworks their game developers. Yeah, it's pretty bad. You know, animators and game developers are like on the same boat because animators and developers have to work hand in hand to make a game good. Because the thing is, a game's like, mechanics can be amazing, but if you don't have like animation or like characters to like match up to those cool mechanics, it's gonna apparently be still a shit game. You get me? You enjoyed it? Tell me a lot about how modeling works. Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm glad, guys. I'm glad. Okay, well, I guess we're gonna end this a little early. Well, a little early. I mean, it was very nice refresh on 3D modeling. This helps basics on low poly modeling. Okay, good. That's good. That's good. I'm glad. I'm very, very glad about that. All right. Well, I think that's it. I mean,
All right,
yeah.
thank you.
All right. Thank you guys.